The reason that we have a society that was founded on Christianity is that many thousands upon thousands of people died to build it because they believed in the truth of Christ. That's how it works.
I don't fully believe this assertion. What Kingsnorth is saying is essentially the belief in this incredible wisdom tradition was worthy of many thousands of people dying. What I would say is that oftentimes this belief was used or hijacked by state power in order to get millions of people to die for the state. Just because people went to war in the name of Christ doesn't mean they actually did. I mean, look at the history of Europe. Most of these countries are Christian and fighting other Christian nations. So my argument for who wins in a battle royale of all spiritual and religious traditions is going to start with game theory.
Yeah, formally, game theory is a branch of mathematics that studies how to make the optimal strategic choice under uncertainty to win a game.
From the beginning of humanity, every human culture has had a spiritual tradition, a relationship to a higher power. One could make the argument that because Christianity has been so successful, because Islam has been so successful, these are the two most wise traditions. But I wouldn't go that far. It could also be that they seize upon the best game theoretical advantage and are able to outcompete other religious traditions in the world. Here's what I mean.
How do you win a rivalrous game where you don't know what the opponent is doing?
In my home state of Texas, the Comanche tribe were among the most warlike tribe. They consistently were able to outcompete their neighbors. And in one specific example, they came up against the Choctaw, Cherokee, and the Creek Native Americans that were in Oklahoma. These were people who were more agrarian. They grew corn, squash, and beans, and they were, generally speaking, more peaceful. The Comanche totally wiped them out. Another example are the Spartans, a culture that heavily prized war, and when they went up against more peaceful neighbors like the Athenians, who prized their intellect and philosophy, oftentimes the Spartans won. What happens with these tribes is essentially game theory, but it also happens with theology. I call this theological game theory. When Islam smashed into Hinduism and Jainism on the Indian subcontinent, it was clear who would be the victor from the beginning. Islamic theology is far more violent, and compared to the Jains, who have a completely non-violent philosophy, it would be clear why one philosophy or theology would work versus the other.
Eat fruits and nuts that fall from the plants, but they won't even kill plants to eat them. The existence of the Jains as, decently large populations over long periods of time mean that you can have not just a particularly nonviolent person, but a whole culture of people that all get enculturated to live that way. So human nature allows Jains, right, as one example.
How does a culture like the Jains survive in a world surrounded by Muslims? Well, the answer to that is it's really hard. And that's one reason why there are a few million Jains and hundreds of millions of Muslims. I'm not saying that Hinduism or Jainism or Buddhism are perfect, but I am saying that theologically they will compete, and the most violent and aggressive will win. Now, if we consider a historical religious scorecard, we'll see the most violent three theologies that have existed are Christianity, Islam, and atheism. I say atheism because they do have a specific God claim, and that leads to very specific psychological ramifications. And whether it's the Great Leap Forward or Stalinist purges, it's very clear that can be violent as well. This matters because we have to have a realistic view of our world religions. the state power, the violence, the aggression in the past of Christianity, Islam, and atheism, they make it easy for certain people to disregard the entire philosophy. Christianity and Islam, according to Richard Dawkins, have very little value. But this misses the larger point. This misses the opportunity for discernment, to see the teachings of Jesus Christ, learn from them, live an embodied life from those teachings, and parse what doesn't serve. If you like this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe below.
If you like this video, I think you're going to like this one.